Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio. Today I am going to be smoking turkey breast. Stick around. So I've got two kids, and the only lunch meat that they agree on for making sandwiches for lunch to pack in their lunch is turkey. You know, my son's a peanut butter and jelly guy. My daughter, she'll eat anything, but the one lunch meat they like is turkey breast. My wife and I like to tend to buy the nicer, like more natural stuff. The stuff that doesn't have as many additives in it, things like that. But the problem with that stuff is it's kind of expensive. Last time I checked at my grocery store, it was like $7.99 a pound, which that's kind of expensive for lunch meat. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to buy a couple of turkey breasts. I wanted to try to get a good seasoning on there that my kids would like, a nice rub, and then smoke them and see how cost effective it would be for me to make this myself. Now, I'm going to start with just two breasts, but if it ends up that my kids really like it and that if it freezes really well and things like that, I may end up purchasing, the turkey breast in bulk and doing a whole huge amount of it on my offset smoker. And then I'll just freeze it and we'll use it throughout the year for lunch meat, things like that. So what I started with was a bone-in turkey breast that I bought. Now, my numbers are gonna be a little bit off when I start talking about whether this was cost effective or not, because like an idiot, I bought this turkey breast a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, and I'm sure the turkey prices were probably a bit off because of my timing. But I bought it for about $3.70 a pound, which is ridiculous. You can get a whole turkey for 99 cents a pound, even cheaper if you shop around for it. So those will kind of skew my numbers a bit, but we'll get the general idea of how much this is going to save me. Important thing, when you look for turkey breast, make sure you read the label. A lot of times turkey breast has a lot of things injected in it. And since I'm kind of looking for natural here, I don't want chicken broth and brown sugar and salt water and whatever else injected into my turkey breast. I don't want to pay for their stuff. I want to season it and I want to brine it myself. So what you can usually find is you can find a turkey breast that has like 5% water in it. And that's just water that gets absorbed during the cleaning and butchering process in the turkey plant. That is acceptable to me. I don't mind buying the 5% water turkeys, which I found at the store. Now, in order to get this turkey nice and juicy, since it's not injected with anything, I'd like to brine it, but I prefer dry brining. I think it gives the turkey a better texture. So what I do is, first I'm gonna butcher these turkey breasts. I'm gonna get them removed from the carcass here. I'm gonna remove the skin and any membrane that's on there. I just want straight up turkey breast. Then I'm going to dry brine it. Really all that is just sprinkling both sides with salt and letting it sit for 24 hours. Basically what happens is the salt, as you all know from watching cooking shows, the salt will draw moisture out of the turkey, and then after it sits on the surface for a bit, the turkey, looking to reach equilibrium, will suck the salt water right back in and it'll get spread out through there, basically brining it. I use 1 teaspoon of salt per turkey breast. Now, if it's a really huge turkey breast, you could go a little bit more than that. So after these have dry brined for 24 hours, I'm gonna cover them with a rub. Now, the turkey breast that we usually buy from the grocery store is usually called peppercorn turkey. So I wanted to try to kind of match that flavor profile. So what I would usually do for this rub, if I hadn't dry brined the turkey already, it would usually be 2 parts coarse ground black pepper, 1 part salt, and then I'd add a little bit of my favorite like rib rub or poultry seasoning, whatever I have, just to give it a little flavor. But since I've already brined this, there's already salt in there, I'm really gonna cut back the salt a little bit. It's probably it's not even 1 part, maybe not even, it's make a half part. So what I'm gonna do is a half cup of ground black pepper, 2 tablespoons of salt in there, and then I just put a tablespoon of this seasoning I have. I've had it forever and I'm just kind of trying to use it up. It's good for pork, poultry, and whatever you got. So I mix it up, I put it on the turkey breast. I like to let it sit there for an hour, just kind of, you'll know when it starts getting that wet look, you know, that it's ready to go. I'm going to be cooking this today out on my Weber Smoky Mountain. I'm going to run it at about 250 degrees. I'm going to just use charcoal. You can see here I filled the ring with charcoal. I kept the can in the middle to leave a little channel where I can dump the charcoal so it kind of starts in the middle, works its way out. And then I put some apple chunks in there just to give it a little bit of a smoke flavor because, you know, everything tastes better when you put apple wood in it. So I figure these breasts, since they're not very big, all in total it's about 2.5 pounds of turkey breast. I figure they're going to take about maybe about 3 hours, 3.5 hours to cook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them on there for an hour until they kind of develop that nice color from the smoke. Once they get that nice color on the outside, I'm going to take them off and I'm going to put, you know, about maybe 4 tablespoons of butter down on a piece of heavy-duty aluminum foil. I'm going to put the turkey breast on top of that, and then I'm going to put about another 4 tablespoons on top of the turkey breast, wrap it up in the foil, and then put a second layer of foil on it so that it doesn't leak. Then I'm going to put these back on the smoker, and I am going to let them kind of cook and baste in that butter for about another 2 hours, 2.5 hours, until the internal temperature gets to be about 265. You really want to take turkey to 265, 270, especially if it's the white meat. But if you have a really big turkey breast, I would definitely stop at about 265 because the carryover heat from that, it'll continue going until it gets up to 270. So right around that 265, 270, you should be fine. So I took the turkey off here and carved it up. You can see it's still nice and juicy, a little bit of a smoke ring on there, really good, and it tasted great. What I would have changed about this recipe is I would have dialed back that ground black pepper. I personally loved it. It had a little bit of spice. You could feel the burn after you ate it in your mouth. For my kids who are, you know, in elementary school, they're not looking to go to lunch and get their mouth burned. So I would have dialed that back a little bit, but overall they liked it and it tasted really, really good. I might also, for my rub, I might also add a little bit more of that poultry seasoning I showed you before. That might give it a little bit more of a barbecue taste instead of just straight up salt and pepper. That might be a nice touch as well. So one of the cool things about this turkey recipe, if you're on one of those, you know, low carb or even those paleo diets, you can totally control what you put into this turkey breast. Mine is basically salt, pepper, another couple seasonings that you would use in barbecue, but there's really no sugar whatsoever into it. So this is like no carb turkey. Turkey and some seasoning, and it's great for those types of diets. So to store this for later use, I'm not going to slice up the turkey breast before I freeze it. I'm just going to put it in the freezer, and when I need it, I will thaw it and then slice it. That way, you know, it stays intact, it doesn't give it more opportunities. Basically, by slicing it, you're just making more surface area and more opportunity for it to dry out. So just leave it as a solid breast, and then you can freeze it and kind of portion it out as you need it for lunch meat. The economics of this, is it worth it? Well, like I said, I bought this turkey at the wrong time of year. It was $3.70 a pound. That's ridiculous. But I got 2.5 pounds out of the turkey breast itself. So if you do the math on that, it was about $9.25 for 2.5 pounds. If I took the turkey breast that I usually buy at the supermarket for $8, $7.99, whatever it was, and multiply that by 2.5 pounds, that comes, you know, we're talking over $17 for the same amount of meat. So it's almost half the price. Now, as a side note, I went to Costco, my favorite place, the day after Thanksgiving, and they had all their leftover turkeys, which were, you know, natural and awesome, for $15 off. I bought a 20-pound turkey for $5 from Costco. I actually butchered it up and took the breast off. There was 5 pounds of turkey breast on that turkey. So if you figure it that way, even if I divide that, that would be a buck a pound, which I also got legs and thighs and everything else. So if you buy the turkey at the right time of year, definitely this is cost effective and it's definitely worth your time. What I could see myself doing in the future is maybe buying several turkeys, maybe having 6 or so breasts and doing them all at once on the offset. Then it would really, really make it cost effective because I'd be getting lunch for several months, lunch meat for several months, and it would be so much cheaper than getting it from the grocery store. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure that you check back often. I have new videos coming out all the time. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Press the little button down below. Press the bell next to it so you get notifications when I have new videos coming out. And make sure you follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram, @Dave's Ohio Barbecue. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.